a victim needs at that time. Not cheap mchambo za TikTok to give you nyamakwota. You need a lot of education on victim support, Paulina. And also, I've heard you talking about you leaving. Congratulations that you left. Where's my laughing emoji? My sound emoji. Congratulations to you, Paulina, and other women that have been able to walk out of bad relationships. I'm congratulating you because you know what? It takes a lot of work and a lot of courage to do so. But what you also need to remember is that your story, your experience is not another person's story. Sawa sawa. What you went through with your partner is not the same thing that Diana Ross will go through. What you went through with your partner is not the same thing that Queen Irene will go through or Kisasi will go through. So stop comparing your experiences with another person's experience and say, mimi nilitoka. Mimi si nilimanage kutoka. Shauri yako kama ulitoka, good. Kudos. You managed kutoka. When someone has not left, allow them the grace that you also received before you left. Respect the fact that there is somebody else like you that is going through something you had gone through. Give them that grace and support because you are now at a place of power. You are at a place of privilege. You're supposed to educate, empower, support. Not scrutinize, not judge, not put down, not pelt. If you survived domestic violence, came out of it, you
Hello guys, it's your girl Patience Status. Welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If it's your first time here, make sure you hit the subscription box and put on the notification bell so that you don't forget any time I post a new video. Remember, I'm the queen of online gossip. So welcome to today's video. Don't forget to give it a like and leave a comment on the comment section.
I'm going to put some songs for you as we wait to reach 20k taps. Let us continue tapping. Ebu tapuru tapuru tapuru. Tap 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 tap. Let us tap tap and share the live. Tap and share the live. Natafuta wimbi. Hi, nimefika. How are you doing? Guys, tutapuru. Guys, tapuru tapuru tapuru. Mtap tafadhali. Tabidi niingie kwa YouTube. I like playing my songs from Apple Music, but seems like Apple haina wimbo zangu mingi. Inabo kweli. Haya. Tuendelee. Wacha ni. Hi Mugambi, how are you doing? Ebu tapuru tufike 20 or 25k.
Hi, this is Jake at Optry.
I hate anything to be as respectful as they can on this live. And my moderators, please keep this live safe. That's why I'm asking you guys to share it, because I think Oh, thank you so much, Mtaratara. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Guys, thank you. Tap the live. Tap the live. Tap, please, and share this live. I'm going to request that nobody makes a request to come on the platform. I'd like to first nimalize. Ndio ninaweza invite people to come to the platform. Thank you, Mtaratara. I appreciate that. So please let us hit 400 heart me's. We are at 347. Guys, tuendele. I'm going to put a song. Of course, I'm dedicating this song to all the women who are struggling and are in violent and abusive unions. Thank you, Dams D. I'm dedicating this song to you guys. And any other song I'm going to be playing on this platform. And okay, dear TikTok, which songs I'm playing on this platform, I do not own the rights of the songs I'm going to be playing here. Okay. Here's a song I'm looking for. Yeah. Msijali kwa homa kengine kana nisumbua. Excuse me. Oh my God, I told you I feel like sneezing. I wonder why. So anyway, I always relate with this song because this song was released when at this time, the time when this song was being released by Rebecca Malope. I don't know if you guys know Rebecca Malope. She's a South African gospel singer, and she released this song when in South Africa the rate of femicide and women that were dying because of intimate partner violence was so high that women walikuwa wanaamua kujitoa uhai peke yao kwa sababu ya uoga. So this song was released then, and I always listen to it. But anyway, you might not hear the word, understand the words, but it was a song that was dedicated to victims and survivors of domestic violence. Those who found the strength to walk away. Kwani hiyo wimbo imeenda wapi tena? Kama hiyo hakuna, sijui iko hapa chini ama iko wapi. Well, my school, this is why I don't like YouTube. I prefer Apple Music. Okay, TikTok, msinilete. Ai, kwenda huko kabisa. Ati my live visibility. Koma kabisa. Guys, anybody that writes any disrespectful comment on this live, moderator, mtawa block. Tumeelewana, ama mtu yote mwenye atakuja kuandika ama kumock abundance kwa hii live, block them. I hope tumeelewana, mods wangu. I've been very clear about what my intention for this live. It's educational purposes. Of course, we know why I have to talk about what I want to talk about. So, sasa nimepata wimbo tena ikapotea. Okay, let's see. Tuseme hiyo ni bahati mbaya ama wimbo haitaki nicheze. Koma. Maybe wimbo haitaki nicheze. What the hell is that song? Okay, I'll play this one. Nimekuja. Welcome to the home of JBL. In Kenya, wa Kenya, habari zenu. Amoso uduto udinade, habari zenu, tijui chamge, urie, na kibono, Wakikuyu wanasema aje? Wakikuyu wanasema aje? How do Kikuyu say good morning? How do Kikuyu say good morning, guys? Muriega. Okay. Na uhoro wako. Uhoro. Okay. Ni mwega. Muriga. Na wakale wanasema chamge. Sindio? Sinivo. I don't know why TikTok is asking me for face. I don't know what recognition. So sijui nini mbaya. Anyway. Munanisikia vizuri. Sauti yangu inasikika vizuri. Niko sawa? Sindio? First of all, I feel a bit sad, I would say, or disturbed with whatever is happening, but it's not new to me. It's not new to me. Violence against women is something that I have dealt with for the past, let's say, 16 years. I have worked with women, I've worked with victims, I have been to courtrooms with victims, I have seen it all, and I keep learning every day when it comes to violence against women. And when we talk about violence against women, it's such a broad topic. It's so broad that we can't really talk about everything today. But what I wanted to talk about today specifically is domestic violence. And domestic violence just means violence, intimate partner violence, domestic. And there's a difference. Don't just say domestic violence is a broader term, and it doesn't just relate to intimate partners. Domestic violence can also be a parent abusing a child, a guardian abusing a child, siblings abusing each other. So domestic violence, there are many specifications, or I would say there are many autopsies around domestic violence. So, but the specific one I want to talk about today is intimate partner violence. I want to talk about intimate partner violence because I know most of you already know what is happening to one of us here, which is very unfortunate. Hi JB, Mambo, thank you for coming. It's unfortunate, and I believe this is a conversation we need to have. And I have been listening to so many platforms on TikTok today. I have been listening because there are platforms that I go to, platforms from Team Bipolar, and people get zoomed. And I have realized that what we need to do on this platform is to educate ourselves on victim support. A lot of women on this platform have no education on how to take care of a victim, or what a victim of domestic violence goes through, what it means to be a victim, and the cycle of violence, domestic violence. It's vicious. First of all, I'm gonna say this very clearly. A person that has been abused, a person that is a victim of abuse, can decide to stay in a relationship that is abusive. Let me make that clear. A person that is a victim of abuse can still choose to stay with the abuser. It is a common occurrence. It is not something that is new. And another thing I need to make clear is that we should focus more on the perpetrator than the victim. Our focus needs to shift on the people who are the abusers and not the victims, not the survivors. That is how it's supposed to be. So every time you try to scrutinize a victim, you push them more towards their abuser than towards a path where they can get out of that situation. And let me explain to you how that works. Is that when a victim of abuse comes out here and they listen to conversations about their victimhood or their survival, they get scared and move and shift focus to their abuser, because that is the place where, quote unquote, they'll feel safe. When a victim is on a platform like this and they listen to conversations that are geared towards offering them support and not scrutiny, they feel safe with the community, and then they can seek advice from the community, and the community can help them with support and help them with transition and help them accept or even redeem their self-esteem so that they can find themselves. So every time there's a victim of abuse, a survivor, and as women or as people on this platform, we are asking, oh, kwa nini alikaa hapo for long? Kwa nini alikuwa bado analala na huyo mwanaume? Kwa nini alikuwa ameshika mimba na huyo mwanaume? Kwa nini anapatia huyo mwanaume pesa? You are not helping that victim. You are not helpful at all. Every time you have all these negative connotations, you are scrutinizing a person that has been abused, you are helping the perpetrator. You are giving power to the abuser, because that is how perpetrators work. Perpetrators of abuse capitalize on victim blaming. And that is what gives them power, because they know women are going to be questioned. What were you wearing? Why were you out at night? Why were you wearing a tight skirt? Why did you drink with him? Why did you eat his fare? Why did you go to his house? Why did you get into his car? Why were you talking to him? If you put too many why questions around a victim, you are not offering support. What you're doing is scrutiny. And when you scrutinize victims, you send them away from a support system that can help them redeem themselves. So when you see someone on this platform, whether you love them or not, because a lot of people, I've seen somebody somewhere, I'm not going to mince my words, I'll be mentioning names. I've heard Paulina, and this is what I'm going to say. Paulina, you need a lot of education. You need education on domestic violence. You need education on victim support. You need education on conversations to have when we are handling in public a delicate matter that involves intimate partner violence. You sound so uncouth and uncultured when you ask some questions. And I know that it's because you are inexposed. And I hope that you can sit down, think about the way that you handle and talk about specific issues. Because at the end of the day, whether you like Diana Ross or not, somebody is already a victim. And that person deserves support. Where the support comes from is irrelevant. If the support that a victim needs at that time, not cheap mchambos at TikTok to give you nyamakwota. You need a lot of education on victim support, Paulina. And also, I've heard you talking about you leaving. Congratulations that you left. Where's my laughing emoji? My sound emoji. Congratulations to you, Paulina, and other women that have been able to walk out of bad relationships. I'm congratulating you because you know what? It takes a lot of work and a lot of courage to do so. But what you also need to remember is that your story, your experience is not another person's story. Sawa sawa. What you went through with your partner is not the same thing that Diana Ross will go through. What you went through with your partner is not the same thing that Queen Irene will go through or Kisasi will go through. So stop comparing your experiences with another person's experience and say, mimi nilitoka. Mimi si nilimanage kutoka. Shauri yako kama ulitoka, good. Kudos. You managed kutoka. When someone has not left, allow them the grace that you also received before you left. Respect the fact that there is somebody else like you that is going through something you had gone through. Give them that grace and support because you are now at a place of power. You are at a place of privilege. You are supposed to educate, empower, support. Not scrutinize, not judge, not put down, not pelt. If you survived domestic violence, came out of it, you are supposed to use your story, your experience to educate other people, to empower other people, not to brag about how you left. No. You are supposed to empower, encourage, support. Use your story to change other people's lives. Use your story to encourage other women that are struggling. Don't use the fact that you left to look at yourself as a person that is better than others or a person that has more experience than others. There are very different reasons why people are staying in relationships that are toxic and are violent and are abusive. One of the things that perpetrators do to their victims is, first of all, they make sure they alienate you. That is what they do. They will tell you your friends are bad. They will tell you you're not supposed to go out with your friends. They will start telling you that your friends wanawataka. Wanaume ambao anataka kukutoa mahali unafaa kuwa in terms of support. A person who wants to abuse you will first of all like you, and then they will also tell you to stop going to the gym. They'll also tell you to stop going out. They'll also tell you that you uko mnono. Mwanaume anaanza kukualienate. They will always have a series of negative things they are isolating you. The way to isolate you is psychological. They will start talking to you about your friends. Tell you your friends are not good for you. Your friends are jealous of you. They don't like you. They will even lie that your friends wanawatongoza. An abusive man will talk about how much your friends are looking at him and he doesn't feel comfortable. An abusive man will sow seeds of discord between you and your friends, you and your siblings, you and your parents, you and your colleagues, so that you start doubting them. That is the way they will alienate you, because they can only have power when you are standing alone. Abusive people are afraid of a support system. So what they do is to disintegrate the support system. First of all, they will alienate you so that you stand alone. You sit alone. You are only going to be with them. So when they have removed your close circle around you, you are alone. You are the only person they have. Now they start having all these negative labels around you. Most of the time they'll start telling you either you're ugly, you have added weight, you don't look beautiful anymore. They will never ever reward you with anything. They will never ever say good things about you. Whether you dress, they'll never look at you nicely. They will always complain about the food that you make. It's not well done. Start making comparisons with you and other women. They will start talking about your body, how it is not beautiful. Uko mnono, uko na matako ambaye ikai poa ama hauna matako. They'll start talking about your eyes, your face having pimples and rashes, your complexion not being fair. All of these are geared towards you looking at yourself as an ugly person. It's called self-loath. And they will also go as far as telling you that unanuka. This has happened so many times, especially to plus size women. They will tell you that unanuka. So you will be showering every day because a man has told you ya kwamba unanuka. Kwa siku moja unaoga kama mara 5. Unasikia? They will tell you a lot of things that are negative. All of these negative labels will register on your head and it will be a repetitive cycle. The purpose of all these labels that are negative is to destroy your self-esteem. Because once a person that is actually sleeping with you is telling you that you're ugly, you'll believe it. Kama mtu analala na wewe na anakuambia uko na sura mbaya, utaamini. Mnakumbuka vile Big Daddy alikuwa anatusi Aluoch, anaambia Aluoch eti kuma yake iko kombo. He was destroying her. He was destroying her self-esteem. That is what usually happens. And that is why it took her such a long time, because he created all these narratives around her that are so negative to make her look like she's not beautiful, she's not attractive. A person mwenye unalala na yeye, anaingia ndani yako, anakuambia kuma yako iko kombo. You're gonna believe that person. Ukishaambiwa kuma yako iko kombo, hata mwanaume mwingine akikutongoza wako nje, utataka uende ulale na yeye? Can you tell me? Unaweza enda kulala na mwanaume mwingine kama umeambiwa kuma yako iko kombo? Uwezi? So even if a good man comes your way and I wanna talk to you, you are not gonna let them in your space because you don't want them waone hiyo kuma yako kombo. You understand? You would not want any man around you because first of all umeambiwa unanuka. Ule mtu unalala na yeye kwa nyumba amekwambia unanuka. Utataka watu wa nje wakuje karibu na wewe? No. So that is what they do. They alienate you, then they kill your self-esteem. The reason why they have to destroy your self-esteem and your confidence, because that is what identifies who you are. That is what makes you recognize and tick when you're being abused. Because when you are aware and when you know that there is a situation of abuse, then you're like, this is not right. But when your self-esteem has been destroyed, it's been dismantled, anything that defines you has been taken away, and you depend and you seek and reek of favor from your abuser, then their word is final. So you're not going to seek anything else but what they say about you. Then once your self-esteem is gone, you will not have any power to make decisions that are good for you. Anything they say, you go by the book. Anything they tell you, you go by that book. Thank you, JB. Hi, Nalia. So you believe everything because now you are like an empty shell that they are feeding with their own narratives. They are redefining who you are. That is what an abuser does. They change who you are, your character. They change you physically, psychologically. That is what they do. So once they've alienated you, they have destroyed your self-esteem. Now they start feeding their narratives about their power upon you. Unajua hakuna mtu anaweza kukupenda kama sio mimi. Hakuna mwana mwingine anaweza kukupenda huko nje kama sio mimi. Hakuna haja uendange hata huko nje. You are an embarrassment. So you stop going out. Sijui kwa nini unaenda kazi. Hakuna haja uende kazini. Huko kazini pali unaenda unaenda huko na hata you are not even smart. Yani you are a foolish woman. Weni mama mjinga. Sijaiona mama mjinga kama wewe. Hata ukienda huko sioni difference yenye una make kwa hii nyumba. Sioni. Wacha kuenda hiyo kazi. Then slowly by slowly you start being unproductive at work. Because you're believing the negative things that this man is telling you at home. You carry that negative energy to work. And then it now starts showing in your productivity. You are no longer productive at work because you keep on remembering how that man said you're worthless. So at work, you're not productive because you don't have a great support system at home. So what this man is doing is that he's slowly making you incompetent in a workplace. So you're not productive. And then remember, you're also not communicating with your colleagues because you're doubting them and you're afraid of them. And also they're apparently also eyeing your husband. So you don't like them. And they don't like you too because they're wondering what's going on with you. You are constantly talking about your husband. Most women who are going through abuse in workplaces, they will constantly talk about how good their husbands are. My husband is so good, takes me on holiday every day. My husband is so good, he loves me, he bought me this perfume. My husband, in one sentence, in one day, one morning only, a woman who is a colleague will talk about her husband more than 30 times and about the things their husband had done. And when all that, let me tell you, 90%, it's always lies. The husband does nothing to them, for them. Nothing. Zero. The man obviously hates them. That's why they represent them and talk about them, because a man that loves you, when you're loved by a man, when you're properly treated by a man, you don't need to tell anybody. People will see it. When you're constantly trying to tell people that you're loved, it means you're not loved. You're looking for that love. So you become unproductive at work, and then you end up losing your job. So you're home. The man has achieved full and total control of you. And when you're home, 10 out of 10 times you're getting yourself pregnant. That's what usually happens. Because in the day, or at some point in the day, mwanaume anakupiga, and you are apologizing using sex at night. That is what usually happens. And that is the cycle of abuse. The cycle of abuse involves alienation, control, subjugation, apologies, and forgiveness. That is what usually happens. So this man atakupiga mchana, lakini jioni utatafuta jinsi ya kumtengenezea chakula. Remember, hauna kazi, utaanza kukopa watu mapesa, uende utengeneze chakula ndiye akuje apate. And 9 out of 10 times, men who choose to alienate you and abuse you will never make sure you have proper nutrition. No. Hawaachangi pesa za chakula. They don't do groceries, they don't take care of their homes. They want you to use your head, supposedly. It's not even that. They do that intentionally because they know you have no means. So when they come home, they start telling you, why can't you be like other women? Why can't you be like other women? Your fellow women go out there, they work and they get some stuff for their husbands. They make sure there's good food at home. What's wrong with you? And I'm telling you again, 9 out of 10 times when a man is abusing you in that manner, it's because he is eating somewhere. Ata kawangware kwa mwanamke mwingine. Men will leave a well-dressed woman to go and date a woman in a shack in Kawangware mwenye anauza madondo. Utavaa suti zako, ujipake lipstick, ufanye kila kitu yenye unafanya, lakini baada atakuacha aende alale na ule mwanamke ako kwa kibanda. Tumeelewana? And the reason why I'm telling you this is because a lot of women try to fix men. A lot of you here are constantly trying to create men to be what they want them to be, and you really can't. That's the truth. You cannot change a grown person. You cannot change an adult to be what you want them to be. The decision for any man to be abusive is something you cannot change. You cannot pray about it. You cannot fast about it. You cannot read the Bible to change an abusive man. You can't. There is no prayer that can make a man stop abusing you. There is no God that can make a man stop abusing you. None. There is no prayer. There is no church you will go to. There is no amount of fasting that you will do to change an abusive man to make him stop. None. There is no amount of conversation. There is no amount of therapy that will change an abusive man. That's the truth, I'll tell you. Because abuse is a choice. When a man decides to lift their hand to touch you or to violate you, that is a choice they have made. It is not something that they do unknowingly. No. It is a choice they have made. And when a person has decided that part of their character is abuse, you can't change that as a woman. You can't. The most you can do is walk away. It's usually the best option. And I tell you, so many people have always said that, oh, ati alinipiga tu kofi. It starts with a slap. In fact, not a slap. It starts with him being disrespectful. And I've always said this, and I'm repeating it again. Every time you want to know an abusive person, they are very poor communicators. Men that are abusive are very poor in communication. They don't respond to your texts. They don't call you when they should. They don't tell you anything about their lives. They don't, because they don't care. They will never, because they are not expressive. The only time they know how to express themselves is when they are exerting their violence on you. And 100 times, 10 out of 10 times, men that are abusive are also very pathetic in bed. They are the poorest when it comes to sex. Anakuingililia ni kama ni truck inaingia mahali kwenda kuchimba, bulldozer inaenda bulldoze at something somewhere. Most of the time, men who are violent are very poor in bed. Pathetic men in bed. That's what usually happens. I'm telling you. But if you think I'm lying to you, pay attention. I know most of you women have experienced that. Poor in communication, stingy, and also cannot make a woman happy in bed. Because they're selfish. They're selfish. A selfish person cannot be expressive in bed. You understand? And that is why most women, and I tell you, nikiwa hapa TikTok, ndio maana nawaambianga huwa nawaangalia and I feel bad. Every time you come to TikTok and you hear women talking about conjugal, ati nilidinywa jana. Hapana, hukudinywa. Ulikanyaga kama umbwa, mwili yako ilipatiwa zero respect. Women who talk about kulala na wanaume and they want to tell you the experiences out here every day. Alafu wanasema ati wanawake wengine wako na nyege. Hao ni wanawake ambao wanabakwa most of the time. Unasikia? I've told you, when you see a woman coming on TikTok or on a social media platform like this to brag about having sex with a man, just know that person is going through abuse. Because they don't know anything better. When you are loved, when you have had proper sex with a man, when a man has treated your body with respect, when a man has protected you, preserved you, talked to you when they're making love to you, appreciated your body, treated you well, and carried you with grace even when they're making love to you, that is something so sacred, so beautiful, that you do not desecrate by coming to talk about in a platform like this. You protect what is beautiful. You do not put it out there. Beautiful things are protected. They are not exposed to people. When you have good sex with men, you don't talk about it because it's so beautiful. It's something sacred. You keep it. And it doesn't mean that you cannot talk about sex. No. It just simply means that it's something you cherish. It's something you want to protect, you nurture, because it was a beautiful experience. People who have mediocre sex talk about having sex all the time because that's all the taka things. When you experience rubbish, you will want to talk about it. When you experience useless things, you'll want to talk about it. Just like every time you're told, Waswahili husema kibaya, kizuri, chajiuza, kibaya chajifanya nini? Unaelewa? So that's why I don't believe all these women that come here and tell you, oh, hey, see, and I'm sorry, I'll refer to conjugal from abundance, and it's not like I'm trying to put her down. Every time you find a woman that keeps on talking about their man, when you find a woman that keeps on talking about men, loving them, they are not loved. They wish they were loved. They wish they had people to love them. Hakuna. Ati jana nilipata mrija. Hakuna. Hakuna mrija ulipata, my friend. Ulilimwa kama umbwa. Because some of you don't even respect and love your bodies. You expose your bodies, you expose your vagina to the most vicious penises out there. Yani, it is not normal for you to wake up as a woman that you are with a person that you love and you think about going to the hospital in the morning. You spent just one night with a man, but the first thing that comes to your mind when you wake up is that you need to go to the hospital. You're not feeling well. That is not beautiful. That is not love. That's violence. That's why most of you, when we have conversations here about sex, you talk about describing what a good man is. Most of you will tell me you want a man mwenye ako na mboro kubwa, yenye iko na misuli. That is what most of you say here. Mnataka mboro kubwa, yenye iko na misuli, na unataka mtu mwenye atakanyaga mpaka sijui utetemeke, sijui mwili. Guys, most of you here mnabakwa. Most of you here hamshikwi kama wanawake, hamdekezwi, miili yenu haiheshimiwi na wanaume ambao mnahusiana nao. And I'm saying this very confidently. I've interacted with most of you in different platforms. 90% of women on TikTok wanna go through abuse, especially when it comes to sex. A lot of you believe kuma lazima ilambwe. Hivyo ndo vile mna believe. A lot of you believe that lazima upanue mguu zako mwanaume alambe kuma yako. Sijui ya kula. Like there's a manual. Guys, when people love each other, when people care for each other, when people love each other, their bodies, their spirits, their thoughts and everything, they go hand in hand. They go in sync. There is no manual. You will find yourself making love even when you're watching a movie. You'll find yourself watching CNN news and you're all over each other. And you feel so beautiful after it. There's nothing like ati lazima afanye the same process ati sijui aingie huko chini atoe sijui suruala lambe. Listen guys, that's outdated. Like it's so crazy. I don't understand. Most of you have created manuals because you're not exposed. And again, I understand that we came from a place where we were not taught about sex when we were growing up. But as women on this platform, you got to make it your duty to teach your children so that the future generations are aware about their bodies. Do you talk to your children about sex? Because sex education also includes domestic violence. If you talk to your children about sex and you don't talk about abuse, you don't talk about domestic violence, you don't talk to them about intimate partner violence, you are a fool. Sex education is broad. Sex education is dynamic. It changes with the ages of your children. You start it at 6 or 7, and when a child is 13, what you tell them is different. When your child is 17, it's different. And when your child is sexually active, the kind of communication that you have with your child is completely different. You talk about contraceptives. You talk about them. Ask them, are they using contraceptives? If you have a son, you have to teach your child responsible sex. Your teenage sons, you need to teach them how to respect women and girls, how to treat girls. If you are in the house and you have a son and you don't teach your son about consent, you're gonna be raising mbakaji hapa nje. Consent is taught right at home. Your children need to know that they are not supposed to touch anybody's property without their permission. Your children need to know that what belongs to them, people will require permission to get from them. The same, vice versa, from other people. Most of the time, we want to leave the burden about sex education to teachers and churches. So that's why most of you, create pattern. Every Sunday or Saturday, mmechukua watoto umeingiza kwa gari unapeleka Sunday school. And they are learning nothing. They are learning nothing. The greatest place to educate your child is in a home. The first and the best education for your child about societal issues is in your home. You have to teach your child respect at home. You have to talk to your children about the situations at home. And the sad thing about domestic violence is that, especially where children are involved, is that a lot of us women choose to hide domestic violence from our children. If you're going through domestic violence, if you're going through intimate partner violence and you have children, tell your children the truth. You wake up in the morning, umefura kichwa, umefura mapua na masini, kila kitu, unapika chakula normal, unakaa kwa dining na watoto, your children get scared. You're traumatizing the children. Talk to them. Let them know that your husband, their father, is beating you. You need to tell your children. You need to prepare your children. That is why sex education goes hand in hand with intimate partner violence and domestic violence, because a lot of incest is happening in home, and there's a lot of adults that are uncles and aunties that are abusing little girls and boys. So when you don't talk to your children about abuse, when you're teaching them sex and sex education, then you're going to be in a place where your children are not going to be able to even identify when they've been abused. So if you're being abused by your partner and you have children, it is so important that you talk to your children about your situation, even when you're not able to leave, so that your children are aware you are going through that situation. It lessens the trauma for the children. It also protects them mentally. It also gives your children an opportunity to understand what you're going through, and you also are teaching your children honesty, the truth, so that they understand that domestic violence is actually a bad thing, that even though you're going through it, they are aware, and it's not like you are lying to them. Seko umefika kwa meza umefura, ama macho zimefura, unavaa kitambaa unafunga macho mpaka na uko na watoto. Maybe you even have teenagers. Now your teen is gonna take that report to school. Ambie mwalimu wake wa maths, mamangu anajifunganga na kitambaa hivi, lakini usiku nasikianga kama analia. Mamangu alituambia alipiga kichwa yake kwa mlango, imefura, lakini usiku nilikuwa nasikia kama analia. You're traumatizing your children because you're lying to them. Tell your children the truth about your situation, even when you're not able to leave. The reason why it's imprudent that you talk to your children is because when you finally make the decision to leave, they will not say no. They will not tell you, mi nabaki na daddy. Watakuambia, mami, I am so proud of you that we are leaving. Wacha sasa tutoke. Your children need to know when you're going through abuse. You need to tell them. And you have to find the right language to talk to them. Not hating. Most of you like protecting men. Unapigwa na mwanaume lakini utaambia mtoto uligonga kichwa yako kwa mlango. It's shameful. Tell your children the truth about their father. If their father is an abuser, tell them. Just vice versa. If a woman is an abuser, the husband needs to tell the children. It's important because you protect the children. So the children also know that this is a danger zone and they need to know. They protect themselves from that. It doesn't mean that you hate your children, no. It doesn't mean that you're causing division in the family, no. It means that you are preparing your children for the eventualities of what the consequences of domestic violence might be, so that they are aware. So when you teach your children about sex, when you're doing sex education, because it's very, very important. Thank you, Queen Malia. Tell your children about abuse, because when you don't tell them about abuse, when you don't teach them about abuse, your children will not even know how to report to you if someone has abused them, because they don't know. You never taught them. Most of you here are very quick to fix marriages that are bad. When I remember the issue ya Liz na Kolo, mulikuwa mnanitusi hapa kwa platform mkisema mimi naharibu ndoa za watu. The moment you sense disrespect, the moment you sense violence, get out. Don't stay. There is no amount of counseling, there is no amount of vijana wa kijiji or wazee wa kijiji yenye itafix a man that has decided to abuse you. Nothing. You can't fix it. Hakuna, and I've told you, just leave. That's the only solution. And leaving might be difficult. Leaving might be hard. It's not easy. And it's okay. And now let's not even talk about the victims. Let's talk about the people who are not victims. That is people like me and others who are not victims. It is so important for you as a person who is not a victim to understand the language that you're going to use when you're talking to a victim, when you're offering them support. You should always constantly call them. You should always tell them and let them know that they are beautiful. Tell them that I'm just calling to check on you. And I wanted to tell you that you're very beautiful. I wanted to know if you ever have time. Could we meet up for lunch? Do you think it's okay for me to come home? Do you think that I could pay you a visit? Do you think that you could find time so we could hang out together? Are you doing okay? It's going to be okay. Remind them of how beautiful they are. Remind them of how gorgeous they are. Remind them of how brilliant they are. Remind them each and every day of how the world needs them. It's so important. Because what we also don't talk about when we talk about intimate partner violence is that there is also the issue ya kujitoa uhai. A lot of victims do not wait leo. A lot of women wanajitoa uhai. Hawangojei siku hizi because you are useless. You've been told you're ugly. You've lost your job. You're not productive at work. You've been told you are useless. Nobody likes you. Umekosana na watoto wenu wote na marafiki zako wote. What's the point? Wanajitoanga uhai because wamekuwa damaged mentally. There is no other way. So they resort to that. Hakuna njia ingine. So every time you have a friend or a family member that is going through intimate partner violence, I'm telling you today, even if you drive to their home na amesha pack vitu zake na akakwambia muende, ukifika pale na huwezi ukamtoa, umepata mume wake, it is okay. Never give up on them. Keep working with victims of domestic violence. Don't give up on them. Don't scrutinize them. Don't judge them. Work with them. That support system needs to be incessant. Never ceasing, never ending, never tiring, never judging, never putting down. Because what you're doing is that you're building back the confidence and the trust in a person whose trust and confidence has been deleted. So you are creating a relationship with this person for the purposes of trust, so that they can believe what you tell them. Once a victim trusts you, then you are able to talk to a victim about how worthy they are, and then you start building slowly by slowly their confidence and their self-esteem, so that they have the power to live and make decisions about living, and they are able to do it permanently. Most of the times women go, mtu anapack anaenda kwa mama yake anarudi, anapack anaenda kwa rafiki anarudi. 100 times the reasons why women go back is because they are not prepared. The decision to leave has not been an individual one. The decision to leave a partner that is abusive, it needs to be an individual one. It has to be a choice that you make. And I'm gonna say, because so many of you have been complaining out there, oh, sahi mumetoa sijui abundance, na abundance akirudi, it is okay. You can't do anything about it. That is her decision. The choice to leave an abusive pattern lies with the victim, not you as a support system. No. All you do as a support system is to create an environment where a victim feels worthy, and then they make that decision themselves. You are safer having a conscience that is clear, that you try to help, than you being quiet, not helping because somebody atarudi and then someone dies. I don't want that in my legacy. I don't want to go to bed knowing that there was a woman that was being abused and needed help, and I could not help them because I felt that watarudi kwa bwana yao. That would be the most stupid thing for me to do. Ati utaki kusaidia mtu kwa sababu bado atarudi tu. We ni mjinga. We ni duanzi. We ni kichwa pombolo. When you're working with victims, patience is required. Exposure is required. Empathy is required. Kindness is required. Generosity is required. Because you are a support system. A support system cannot be giving up. You are what the victim needs. So if you're gonna be leaving, victims even choose not to show up in court. I worked with victims in Kenya that on the day of court, when they are supposed to testify against their husband, amekuzimia simu, alafu anakutumia message baadaye kama kesi imeshaitwa na hayuko, anakutumia message ati oh, I just felt like I needed to stay back with George because I met again with him and we were with him yesterday. I think that, you know, he was nice to me yesterday and so he has changed. Kumbavu. No kuchange hapo, kumbavu zako na kuambia hakuna kitu kama hiyo. Don't be cheated. I'm telling you. Nothing like that. And the sad thing about intimate partner violence is that sometimes, even when you walk away, a man that is determined to harm you will still follow you even in another relationship. Once a perpetrator, always a perpetrator. That's true, Lady Justice. So on this platform, I'm going to make an appeal to you women that we be kinder, that go and read. If you don't have education about victims and victim support, take your time, go and read. Understand how to support victims, because violence, intimate partner violence can happen to anybody. It can happen to you. It can happen to Diana Ross. It can happen to the president of any country who is a woman, whatever. The richest billionaires go through violence. There is no manual. There is no calendar. There is no registry for women that are supposed to be abused. No, it happens to anyone. You can be a victim. And your perpetrator may be known to you, may be unknown to you. Wanawake wamebakwa kwa mabasi. Wanawake wamebakwa wakienda kununua chakula kwa duka. Wanawake wamebakwa kazini. Unasikia? Na wengine wanabakwa kwa manyumba, wanapigwa mpaka kwa manyumba. Wanawake wamepigwa kwa barabara wakienda tu sokoni. So huwezi ukasema mimi I cannot be a victim. No, my friend. As long as you are out here, you can be a victim. And woe unto you women on TikTok, when you very quick to say ati oh, Diana Ross hafai kuingilia sijui hapa. You're so shameless. Like on issues of domestic violence, you also choose to bring your stupid chais. Like I always ask you guys, like if today you wake up, someone has died because their husband beat them up, ati because uko na grudge na yeye, so unasema uwezi offer guidance or support because uko na uko na issue na yeye. Like, how does that work? In which world does that work? Do you people know the statistics of domestic violence in Kenya? In 2023-2024, Kenya lost 4,200 women to intimate partner violence between January and October 2024. Out of those numbers, there are women that were found without their limbs. Kuna wanawake walipatwa bila matiti. Kuna wanawake walipatwa wameingizwa machupa kwa makuma. Kuna wanawake walipatwa bila vichwa. Kuna wengine wenye bado tunatafuta miili yao mpaka leo. Na kuna wengine walichomwa. And out of all those numbers, trust me, they all called for help at some point. Either they were told, mbona unapenda kukaa na huyo mwanaume? Unafaa kutoka hapo. Siwe nilikutoa huko ile siku na ukarudi tena. Mimi nimechoka na ujinga yako. Oh, you've been stigmatized. By the way, let's talk about stigmatization because that's one of the most stupid thing I've ever heard. Ati stigmatized. Mjinga wewe kichwa pombolo. Stigmatized mara ngoni. What stigmatization? Ati I'm stigmatized. Stupid. What has stigmatized you? What is stigmatization? What is it? Ati I'm stigmatized. Some of these labels are so stupid and they've been created by men, and then women embrace these labels and they move with these labels. Hakuna stigmatization. That's abuse. It's stupidity. Like you're saying, you'd rather be with a man that punches you kila siku anakupiga makofi ati kwa sababu anakutomba. Ati afadhali upigwe mangumi na makonde kwa sababu usiku mtu atakutomba. And the reason why watu wanaongelelea stigmatization, because you're giving specifics about a penis, it's because now I've told you 9 out of 10, it is usually very violent, very vicious, and it involves pain and crying. That's why. Stigmatization is the forceful engagement of women and men for the purpose of satisfying men, and women thinking that's the only way to gain sexual or intimacy with men, because it's a vicious and violent short span where you're either thrown onto the bed and your clothes are removed and you are treated like with no respect. Unanyongwa mashingo, sijui unafanywa nini, vitu kama hizo, like you're treated like an object. Hata una aibu. Ukitoka kwa huyo mwanaume, kumbuka ukiendanga huko, wewe unabeba pani ya chapati. Wewe ndio unaenda unafika pale unaosha vibuyu zote, unapiga dasta, nguo zake zenye alisoak for the week, wewe ndio unaosha, unaanza kupika. Ukishapika, wewe ndio unasijui ukate mboga, utengeneze lunch. After you fed him, sijui watch movie, unapiga mapasi, unaanza kupiga pasi. Ukimaliza kupiga pasi, unamwanikia manguo zake, unaweka kwa hanger for the whole week na viatu. Mijinga. Hiyo ndio love, mnajua. Kumbafu kabisa. Ati stigmatization. No, it's abuse. Ujingatization. Ati uko pale, imagine umefanya kazi the whole morning ya kumfulia, kumpangia manguo, tena upike, alafu the whole night ako kwako. No shame, no mercy, no empathy. We pia na hii akili yako ndogo, we ni mjinga. Watu wa chemist, all the chemists kwa estate yako wamesha kujua. Weekend unaenda pale kutafuta Candid B. Kila mpaka umeamua unaenda kwa pharmacy kwa estate zingine because umejulikana. Umejulikana kwa ya area, watu wamejua unakujanga kununua Candid B kila weekend ya 7 days. You get out of there with bruises and infections. You're constantly looking for medication to take care of your vagina after it has been ruined by a broke man over the weekend. Rich men don't know about digmatization. Digmatization is for poor people. Only poor people get digmatized. Poor women and men. They love that language because it is a language for poor people. That's what usually happens. It's not, it's a patriarchal, it's something that most people who have no exposure when it comes to sexual pleasure use. Yes, exactly. It's subjugation language. It's subjugation language. And that's why broke people like those things. They like wanapenda digmatization and submission. Every time you meet a broke man, they'll talk to you about submission. A woman is supposed to submit. What are you submitting to? Broke men talk about submission all the time. Imagine you are submitting to a person that has no money. What are you submitting to? What power are you submitting to? Tell me. If it's not power of the third leg, what are you submitting to? You're submitting to a penis that cannot pay your rent, a penis that when the person is dead, they are gone. There is no landlord that will ask you for a penis as rent. None whatsoever. What are you submitting to? Like, it makes sense when you submit to money. A person that is wealthy, honestly, even if you go to the kitchen to cook for a wealthy man, you feel good. Because there's no smoke in that kitchen. Imagine you're going to nani mwenye anapika na mawe tatu. Unaenda kusubmit kwa Likobe na anapika na kuni. Likobe anapika na kuni na mawe tatu and you're submitting to him. You don't respect yourself. When you are at a place where you understand what you're worth and what your body is worth, you will always make yourself available in spaces where your body is respected. Imagine going to visit a man that you have to go and use mawe tatu na kuni, unapuliza usiku, mvua imenyesha, unaenda kutafuta kuni, alafu unakuja uwakishe moto, una deal na vitu vingi, mara ukimbize kuku sijui wapi, ulete ufanye nini. Like you don't have no peace, you don't even have no relaxation. There is nothing rewarding about that relationship. The relationship is constantly full of troubles. You are constantly thinking about how you will survive tomorrow, but you are here talking to people about how you are in a relationship. You are useless. You are useless, my dear. If you are in a relationship where a man is constantly getting you pregnant and you don't know how your children are going to go to school, you are useless. Don't get pregnant for poor men. Don't get pregnant for poor men. Don't bring forth seeds of poverty into this world. Please don't do that to yourself as women. Don't. If there is anything that you need to avoid, is pregnancy from a broke man. Because poverty is generational. There is no way a man that is poor will start having conversations about the future. Oh, I see a bright future for us. No, there's no bright future for you, my dear. Your poverty is generational. Yes, there's no bright future. Look at the men that tell you about the future ahead being bright. Angalia vizazi vyao. You will find the grandfather died poor, the father also died poor, and he's also going to die poor. Because the father, the grandfather, all of them, they saw a future that is better, and it never came. They are dreamers. They are delulus. Poor men are delulus. The only strength they have is between their legs. Nothing else. Now you sit down and say you're planning your future with them. What future? Where is the future coming from? Broke men have no future, guys. Poor men have no future. That's why I've taken, in this generation today, it's so important for us to teach our children, so that our children are able to make the right decisions when they're out here. Because if you don't teach your children, I'll be saying this time and number, most of our generation, the women in their 40s today, kama sisi wenye walianza kucheza na big boys kitambo. Mimi, I have kids who are in their 20s right now, 2 daughters. If you don't teach your children well, usipofundisha watoto wako vizuri, utakuja hapa siku moja kwa TikTok unapata mtoto wako ananikwa na Big Daddy, alinyonga na Big Daddy. Utakuja hapa kwa TikTok utapata ukari amekaa kwa live na mtoto wako, msichana wako, wanabusiana. Because you're not teaching them. Your home is the first place to educate your child. So that education is so important for you to start right in your home. That education starts in your home. Empower your children in the home. Children that are taught at home and are taught well at home are good influence to children outside of the home. Children that are taught home and are empowered at home are great leaders in society outside of the home. Leadership is taught at home. What they get outside is just supplementary. True leadership kwa nyumba. There's nothing that is more attractive than confidence. Some of you have children that cannot even say hi to anybody. Uko na watoto ni wakubwa wako kwa nyumba, lakini mgeni akikuja they cannot even say hello. Mmefundisha watoto vibaya. They can't even have the confidence to say their names, because that's what you've taught them. And those are the ones that end up being with abusive men. Children that are taught their rights at home cannot be abused, my friend. Na wanyamaze. Atajua. A child that has been taught their rights and is very aware right at home will know the kind of person they need to associate with. They will also report to you abuse. And that child will always make the right decisions when it comes to partners. And when you raise a child that you don't teach how to empower themselves or equip themselves with the right tools to mingle and exist in society, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Self-confidence. Those are things that are taught at home. There's no way a teacher is going to teach your child self-confidence. That's why children that are being brought up in broken homes end up becoming very broken, because they borrow that trauma. The children copy traits. When you have a husband that is loving, a husband that rewards you, a husband that applauds you, a husband that talks beautiful things about you, 9 out of 10 times you're going to raise a child that's going to be loving other people. When a child sees love in their parents, the child is going to copy those traits, and that child is going to pour that out here, because that's what they've learned in their home. But when your parents that mkitaka kukiss, mnakimbia kwa jikoni, mnajifunga ama kwa bedroom, it means you're not free enough even to express your love in front of your children. You don't talk to your children about love. Those are the kind of children mkikaa nao kwa sitting room, wako 16, 17, 18 na mmekaa kwa sitting room, kipindi inakuja watu wanataka kukiss, wote wanatoka mbio wanaingia kwa bedroom. Because you don't talk to them about sex, you don't teach them nothing about sex. Okay? You have a self-confidence, and I've told you confidence is attractive for every woman. We can go on and on, but for today I want to leave you with a few tidbits before I close my live. It's so important for us to support victims of domestic violence. It's so important for us not to judge them. It's so important for us to also accept that a victim makes an individual decision to stay or to leave, and we should not be upset with them. If a victim chooses to leave, let us applaud them. If they choose to stay, let us not stop supporting them. It's so important that we do so. Teach your children. Confidence is very attractive, A child that is confident navigates the world very well. Sex education involves abuse and intimate partner violence. You need to teach your children these facts. As for me, on TikTok, I will continue to unconditionally support any woman or any victims of violence in this platform. It doesn't matter how abusive you've been to Diana Ross, I do not give a fuck. When it comes to domestic violence, everything else stays. I will choose you any day, protect you any day. That's not what I stand for. I stand for what is true and what is right. When you're a human rights activist, when you're a feminist, you cannot be selective. You cannot say that my activism is only choosing a Kini and it's not choosing a Tieno. No. Activism is not selective. Activism is humane. Activism cuts across all boards. It doesn't choose. True activism lacks bias. And that should be the core of each and every woman in this platform. Let us educate ourselves on victim support because it's very important. Let us be kind to one another when it comes to victims, because what people go through in violent homes destroys the identity of women. Let us be people who can redeem women and support women. It's very important. Let us protect each other as women on this platform. Our differences aside, it's important for us to constantly understand the statistics of intimate partner violence in Kenya, in femicide, and let us be our sisters' keepers. I choose not to talk about what is currently going on. I did what I needed to do, and that's it. I will be watching from a distance, and I applaud every other key players that are getting involved. I am so proud of you. Do it. If there is a cause or a pathway for justice, let it be followed. I am happy to just congratulate. I will be watching and seeing what is going to come forth. Other than that, let us be protectors of children, protectors of women. Let's have these conversations each and every day because they are important. And I'll close my live now. So asanteni sana. Thank you so much for coming, all of you that came to my live today. I don't take it for granted. Oh, thank you, Katrina. Oh, thank you, Belinda Chepchumba. That's nice. Oh my God, I'd love to have a conversation with you. So for all of you that came to my live today, thank you so much. Before I leave, I want to talk to you about something. Think about it. I didn't want to comment about it because I had not seen much about it. But I want to ask you as Kenyans, because we are headed towards an election in 2027. What is your role as a Kenyan in making sure your government is doing what it needs to do? Because the government has the duty and the task to make sure that it protects its citizens. The government is tasked with protecting children. The government is tasked with protecting women, men, across all board, providing a healthcare system that is going to protect its people, education and shelter. So when I saw the story about Kaluma and Kaluma Day, many people will start talking about Diana Ross is negative. Diana Ross hapendi vitu za watu. No. Guys, that is a minor who is 17. That boy should not be on TikTok putting his father and using that to fundraise. It's not right. It's unethical. Why would a young child who's supposed to be in school be doing things like that? Where's the mother? Where is the mother when all this is happening? Guys, wacheni niwaambie, we need to think about the government. If we are constantly salvaging the government from duties that it's supposed to be performing to take care of its people, we are not helpful in any way. And I'm going to ask you, food for thought. Do you think if it was how many young girls do you know that are taking care of their parents? Have you done Kaluma Day for them? How many women, how many young children do we know that are 13 are taking care of other children plus their mothers that are dying at home? How many? Kenyans, wacheni kukua euphoric. Unasikia? Let us fix our systems. They are broken. Wacha tuachane na stories za kukua obsessed na do things like euphoria. No. I've told you, let us fix our system. So, thank you very much for coming to my little TED Talk. I hope everybody is well, and I hope we will continue having conversations about. Right now, I am going to be baking a cake right now. Sawa. I was so glad seeing all of you here, and we shall continue. Like I said, I will be opening my live only to have conversations that are meaningful. I do not need to be engaging with people back and forth. I'm not going to be doing that. So if there's anybody that's mentioning my name out there, hell yeah, enjoy yourself. I'm not engaging on my live to do things that are not helpful. Tumeelewana? So wacha niwaacheni na wimbo kamoja alafu tuende. Si tumemaliza? Hata sijui hizi wimbo ni gani mnataka niweke hapa. Oh, thank you so much, Chels. Thank you. Thank you. Wacha tumalize hii wimbo.
So thank you so much for watching the video to the end. Remember to like, share, comment, and if you have not subscribed, please make sure you subscribe and put on the notification bell so that you know every time I post a new video. So guys, thank you. I'm gonna see you on my next video. Bye.